This is episode 2, my gay point of view, Chaunte. What's my coming out story? I feel like I've been trying to come out since I was 2, but nobody noticed. You know, I was actually dating a guy. And I got in trouble because I skipped school. And my mother and I was arguing and stuff like that. And I just went, okay. I was like holding it in. But she told me I couldn't see him anymore. For some reason, I thought it was the most amazing idea as we were trying to bond in the car. And I was getting ready to graduate. We're bonding in the car and I'm all looking out the window to not see her. Mind you, my mom just got her license. So it's probably the worst time to tell her about me being gay. But I was driving in the car and I go, you know, Mom, what would you think if I licked vagina? And my mom was like, wait, what? She almost crashed the car. My mother didn't believe it, even though she's found like dildos in my closet.
Oh, hell. What is my coming out story? My coming out story is all over the place because I had to come out again and again and again and again. You know, black mamas, they don't accept you coming out one time. My mama was always like, are you sure? You ain't get no girlfriend yet? And I just kept sneaking boys in the house. And she kept seeing me sneak boys in the house. And then she finally said God told her that was just who I was and to let him deal with it. And I was like, oh, he's dealing with me all right.
My coming out story came out on VH1. I was on a reality show called Lala's Full Court Life as a blind date for her gay cousin. And when the episode aired was when my family called me and said, girl. But it's so funny because a lot of them were still in denial about it. It was like, oh, it's just acting. And I was like, oh, okay. But it didn't help that the soundbite for the show, for the season, was my soundbite saying, I love vaginas. So that was my coming out story.
Okay, so my coming out story, I would say, is very unique. Okay, so I was a big drinker in high school. I loved to go to the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City. I'm not Irish, but I do puke green on that specific holiday. So I was starring in my senior musical, Peter Pan, which is not anything any straight person ever says. I wasn't Peter Pan, but I was Michael with the hat, you know, which hurt, but it is what it is. So I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade, I cut school, I was drinking, I smoked pot for the first time with a homeless person, doing it big. For some reason, like a true gay man dedicated to his craft, I decided to go back to school for the dress rehearsal after cutting school and drinking all day. Who was there? The assistant principal. She was like, I'm gonna call your parents. I'm not gonna tell them you were drunk, but I'm gonna tell them that you cut school. My other friends, no big deal. Their parents were cool. My mother, he did what? He's out of the play. He's out of the play. She made me drop out of the play the night before. So, what did I do? I came out of the closet. I said, you think you're mad now? Just wait. I'm gay. And the worst part was, the girl who played the kangaroo in the show couldn't see out of the mask, fell off the stage and broke her leg. They had to take her out in an ambulance, and I missed it. That was a moment that I wanted. When my life flashes before my eyes, I wanted to see that moment. And my family, they I don't know how they were so shocked. My dad started crying. I was like, are you gay too? What are you crying about? And then my mom came into her room and she was like, don't you think you could try being with girls for me? True story. I was like, I hate you.
Dating before I came out was pretty interesting. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was the shit, okay, when it came to dating men. A lot of dudes wanted to date me. You know, I was the cool girl, I don't argue, I don't be trying to catch you cheating, I don't do any of that. And while all my friends was getting banged out in like basements and stuff, I used to just get head from it. I would get a lot of head, and I'm not saying I didn't have sex with my boyfriends, but I was a hoe when it came to getting head. I'd be like, I got head in the stairwells and all this stuff, and every guy that I dated still wanted to be, like, I could have been married probably 5 times plus. And the craziest thing with dating men before I came out was I looked just like this. I think I think when I tried to dress kind of girly, I would get those skirts so it looked like a skirt. It has shorts under, and I have my Timbs, and then I would try to do like a tight wife beater. Every guy I dated, I looked like them. I would wear like I would make sure I took their boxers or their shirts or just stuff like that, and they like, oh, that's so cute. She want to sleep with my stuff, and really, I was wearing it. So I can go try to get some girls undercover.
I actually am very good at dating women, and I did date women, and I think I was so good at dating them because I knew exactly what they needed to wear, how their hair should look, and we knew what boys looked good together. And so there was this girl that I never had sex with any of them. No, I told them I was Christian. One girl that I was dating, she told me one day we were out and we were like looking at guys, and she was like, "You're not looking at just what they have going, you're looking at them." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You're gay," and I was like, "Wow."
So dating for me before I came out was like this. I didn't know I was out. I didn't know I was gay. I just had a lot of young little baby studs following me around Brooklyn, and I was like, okay. I was a cheerleader, so it was like basketball girls and stuff like that. And I didn't date. So my first date was actually with a woman. So, yeah.
So you never dated a guy?
I never went on a date with a guy. After I came out and was a lesbian, I tried to go on a date with a guy to see if that would like spark some fire, and no, the shit went out. Gone.
Before I came out, I actually did date the opposite sex. For the girls I was dating, I think their parents were confused that their daughter was a lesbian, so it really shook up families. I'll never forget, I was dating this girl, and it was my birthday, and we went to the movie theaters on like a movie date, and her dad gave me like an NBA action figure of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I was like, what type of Barbie is this? I was like kind of offended. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? But I was like, oh, cool, thank you so much. But yeah, I used to date girls. I made out with a lot of girls. A lot of not attractive girls because I love to do charity work and give back to the community. At parties, on toilet bowls. I think I started monkeypox. You know, I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for any lives that have been lost. No, you know, I actually made out with a girl last week. This girl came up to me and she was just, I was at a bar and she said, "You are beautiful. Would you mind if I kiss you?" And it's just been so long since I've been held. So I said yes. And it was very tender, actually. And she keeps texting me, and you know what? I'm gonna text back.
So it was awkward in a way because it wasn't like I was necessarily like I said, just having sex with guys. You know, I would the head. I don't care whose mouth is on. If I can nut, then we gotta do. But when it came to like when I did have sex with a guy, I think that men correlate trying to make sure you stay straight with I have to destroy your vagina. That's one thing I don't understand about men, especially like now if I go I'm a lesbian, they just go, man, you ain't had the right thing in your life. But I had sex with this guy and he thought it was amazing to just be like, ah, ah. I was like, ouch.
You want to know something? So has there ever been an experience, any intimate encounters, actually during the straight days when I was wearing my straight jersey? Women were throwing coochie at me all the time. I never had a problem being straight. Like I do very well with women. I just don't like them like that. I still do well with women. I just don't sleep with them.
So making out with the opposite sex was probably the hardest part of trying to get to that level with the dude because of the prickly hairs. I can't do the prickly hairs. I don't even like hugging my dad and my brother because I'm like, ugh! It was not for me. And also, men have a musk smell. They smell different than women. Women have a much softer, feminine, natural fragrance to them, and men smell like musk. No matter what they do, that musk is there, and I don't like musk. Only if it's like in a candle, but not on a person. So I did try to kiss a guy before, and I just didn't like the way his breath smelled. And it didn't stink. It wasn't funky breath. It was just man. It smelled like man. And then I did try to lose my virginity to a friend of mine, and his thing was humongous, and there was no way in hell that was gonna go through this little virgin baby. So no, that did not happen. And thank you, Reem. Thanks.
You know, I have not had sex with the opposite sex because I believe that vaginas have teeth. And, you know, I don't always have floss on me, and I never went to dental school, and I just feel like medically I shouldn't. But I have made out with a lot of girls. There have girls that want to go further. But I was never a big kid who was into digging holes or anything like that, so I'm afraid to put my fingers in places that I may never see them again.
Have I ever tried to hide my gayness? Yes. And I actually thought I blended in because I'm from the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So we had very long winters that we would be able to wear the bubble coats, the Timbs, the scarves, and dudes in New York, they just be like, I can't wait to get that bubble coat and Timbs off of her. I'm going to smash the hell out of that. But within my family, the crazy thing with my family is, you know, especially growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, I would hear, you know, my grandfather, certain people talk about the gay lifestyle. So I would try to, like, you know, not just try to make sure, like, oh yeah, I like men, and I'll bring my girlfriends around, but I would make sure I didn't hold their hands or did anything that can, like, bring it off. But when I came out to my mother called my family, and they always like, we knew already. So my mother was the only person who didn't know I was gay this whole time.
Have I ever tried to hide my gayness? Honey, all the time. I grew up in Southeast DC. You could be gay downtown, but you do that over there in the hood. You had to butch up a little bit in the hood because they would whoop your ass. You know, the new gays got it easy. When I was coming up, you had to either know how to fight or hide that shit. And we used to have to hide it. And then some people, you just go around to be gay because you know it's going to push their buttons. But black people, I think we have always had to turn it on and off a little bit.
I have most definitely tried to hide my gayness. On a serious note, it has always been in the workplace, or even when I became an entrepreneur, I hid it with clients. But yeah, it didn't go so well because someone would always slip up. It's like having a racist friend. They're gonna always say nigger. So it always came up somehow, some way, and I could be doing her hair, and she's like, I just don't know why these girls gotta be kissing girls. And I just want to be like, try it, sister. But yeah, I definitely tried to hide my gayness many of days, but no more. I'm 37. It's not happening anymore. So, like, for instance, I had a client who, like many, would always slip up and say something like, oh girl, I don't know why these girls are kissing girls. We could just be watching a random show and they see a lesbian couple or lesbians kissing, or even guys kissing, and I'm always the uncomfortable hairstylist behind you like, yeah girl. No.
I have definitely tried to hide my gayness. My family didn't want me to be gay so bad. My grandpa would always be like, hey Nick, when are we gonna see you with a girlfriend? And I'd be like, soon, on my pink Razor cell phone. You know, I got bullied when I was growing up, and people used to call me like gay and like you're a cocksucker, like all these horrible things, and 15 years later they were right. So I think I owe them an apology. I used to try and lower my voice at like 13 or 14 and be like, hey, how are you? And I think I just sounded more, I think I sounded like I had, you know, lung cancer more than a straight man. I sounded like the lady on the cigarette commercial with the hole in her throat, which raised concerns, as it should.
Have I ever considered being straight after coming out? Absolutely. A few times. One, religion, I mean, you know, that hit me for a long time. But two, being the masculine one in a two-part girl relationship makes you go, I need somebody to get my emotions out with. I need somebody who's gonna have to listen to me. Because you know, when you with a girl, and me being the aggressive one and her being the femme, they'll go and tell me all their trauma, all their problems, and they'll be like, whoo, I feel so much better. And I'll be like, what about me? I got pain, I got trauma.
I still consider being straight all the time. I'm tired of this gay shit.
Enough is enough.
I'm sick of it, damn it. Fuck that parade.
I did consider being straight after coming out. I went on a date, and the guy sat right next to me the entire time of the date, and we were eating at a restaurant, and I kept asking him, why won't you sit across from me so we can kind of talk and get to know each other? And he was like, I just want to smell you, I just want to be next to you, I just want to, be right here. And unbeknownst to him, his man smell was making me so nauseous the entire time, so he was just fucking it up for himself the whole way. That was the end of my consideration of trying to date a man. I'm good. I like studs. They like men, but got coochies.
I think about being straight now, truthfully. Sometimes, like, if I'm not gay anymore, what do I do? Do I give back the skinny jeans? It recently dawned on me, maybe I'm not gay. Maybe I just like to get on the dance floor first at weddings. And it's been very confusing. I think that I would be happier with a woman. Anal hurts, and who wants to be on crutches for the summer? But yeah, I think sometimes I do think of that. I think I'd be happy with a woman, married to a woman. We wouldn't even really have sex. It'd be like a real married couple.
I think it's messing the game up for us studs because we are looking at y'all clothing line so that we can wear it. And now y'all basically turning me back into a whole female. I can't walk around with hoochie daddy shorts because I'm going to get hollered. You know how thick these thighs are? Little butt cheek showing. Man, come on now. Extend those shorts.
Hoochie daddy shorts. These straight dudes are turning into some bitches out here. When we were coming up, we had to fight to wear that. And it's like now they're taking all the gay styles. And I have said this all the time, especially here in LA. LA has the most bad bitches that are men. And it's ridiculous.
I like hoochie daddy pants. I think everybody should have the God-given right to show off their thighs. And I don't think it makes a person or a man is specifically gay or more gay or... I love it. Why not? Just don't have your dicks hanging out. But otherwise, look, let them thighs show, baby. Let them show. It's hot.